Hello everyone, this is day 1 of week of game development on Khan Academy. In this episode, I'll be showing you how to do scenes, buttons, and transitions. So let's just hop right into it. So I have a new program here, and I'm going to start out with the setup phase. There we go. And so, we won't have to specify frame rate because it defaults to 60. But what I'm going to do is do rect mode center because it's easier to do buttons that way. And then I will align the text to center as well. That's all I have to do for setup right now. So now we'll make a new little bracket thingy, and we'll call it global variables. And inside here, I'm going to put var the scene variable, which is going to equal home, because that's what you want to see when you start out the program, right? And then another variable saying mouse inside to check if the mouse is inside a button. Set that to false. Okay, we're done for the variables bracket for now. And then we'll make a new one called global functions. And we'll put stuff inside here a little bit later. Then this bracket will be called button functions, where we put all the code for the buttons inside. We'll also do that a little bit later. And then we'll make a new bracket for the transition. And inside here I'm going to put function and transition for a new transition. Alright, I don't need a semicolon there. And this will be the function that runs the transition. Right? And now, two more, which will be the scenes bracket and the scene management bracket. Now the reason for all these brackets is that you can close them up like this, and then you can access whichever one you want. Like if you want to mess with the global variable, you can open this one and not have to scroll through the entire code to find the function. It's easy that way. Anyway, so we're going to go to scene management right away, and we're going to write the draw function, and then we're going to go to scenes and just type out functions for home and game. Okay, now we'll go back to the draw function and type in switch scene and inside here I'm going to say case home inside parentheses, then a colon, and then we're going to call the home function here, then break, then the same thing, case game, and we'll call the game function. Now if there's no more functions to call, you don't need this break, but I put it there just in case. I can just add another, thing like that. Alright, so now I'm going to give a little detail to the home function, like just the background. And see, the canvas turns red because it's running to home, because the scene variable is set to home right now. Okay, and then we're going to add a blue background on the game, so that we know that the transition and stuff is working. Okay, and now we're going to, just to make sure this all works, we're going to set the scene to game. And see, we have a blue canvas, so that means this scene changing system is working. Now, we're going to actually do scene changes now. So we're going to make a mouse clicked function. No, wait. I'm going to say function mouse clicked. And then inside here, I'm going to write if scene equals home, then scene equals game. Alright, so now we're going to go up here and set the scene variable to home again. And then we're just going to click on the screen and it should change it to blue where the game function is. And see, it works. But if you click it again, it doesn't go back to game. So what we'll do is say else if scene equals game, then scene equals home. Now if you click again, it goes back to game. So that's simple scene changing right there. But we want to add buttons and cool transitions, right? So we'll just delete all that and we'll get to work on the transition next. Alright, so in here I'm going to make object parameters. Oh, oops, this is supposed to be var, not anything else. The end transition is supposed to be an object, sorry about that. And now, inside here we're going to add a:0. Then we'll set speed to 5. Then we'll write t allow, and will be false. Then we'll write s allow, and that will be false. Then we'll do end scene, which stands for next scene, and that will be null, not existing, nothing in it. Then we're going to write transfer function. And in here we're going to write if this dot t allow, then I will write if this dot s allow cursor progress, which will change the cursor into a spinny thing. And then we're going to write else if this s allow equals false, then cursor wait, which is the cursor but with a little spinny thing but right beside it. And then we'll write fill 0 and this dot transparency, which is a. Now we'll write rect 200 200 400 400. So we'll start in the center and it will be as big as the whole canvas. And now we'll write if this dot a is more than 254.9, then the scene variable we made above right here will equal this dot end scene, which is the scene that the button will tell the transition to change to. And then we'll write this dot sallow equals true. And now we'll add something below here. We'll say if this dot transparency is less than 1, then this dot transparency equals 0. This dot sallow equals false, and this dot tallow equals false. Now we're going to make a special function in the global functions called smooth. We'll just write function smooth. This is how we do smooth motion. And put it in the parameters position, time, or distance, and time. Then we'll write return distance minus position divided by time. And this makes smooth motion. So if we go down here to transitions, then we can put right here this dot A plus equals smooth, this dot A 255, this dot speed. And then the transitions should be done. So now we're going to create a button function. So function button, and then the parameters will be x, y, width, height, size, text, and next scene. So now we'll put this dot x equals x, and this dot y equals y, this dot width equals width, this dot height equals height, this dot size equals size, this dot text equals text, and this dot end scene equals end scene. And now we'll write button dot prototype dot draw equals function. Now I know that some people like to put all right here, prototype dot all, because it shows green when you call it, but I like to do draw because you can just hit equals and we'll write the rest. Alright, so this is where the button function code will be. So in here we're going to set the stroke color to black and the stroke weight to be 2 pixels. Then we'll say fill with 200, about like light gray, and then rect this dot x, this dot y, this dot width, and this dot height. And now we're going to write where the text comes in. So write fill 0, text size, this dot s size, and then text this dot txt, this dot x, this dot y. And we set everything to center up in the setup, so the text will go exactly in the center of the button. And now we're going to write a function up here called is mouse inside. This will be the function that checks if a mouse is inside a button. We're just going to write the parameter btn for button, and then we're going to write return mouse x is more than btn.x minus btn.width divided by 2, and mouse x is less than btn.x plus btn.width divided by 2, and mouse y is more than btn.y minus btn.height divided by 2, and btn.y, no, sorry, mouse y is less than btn.y plus btn.height divided by 2. And there it is, this function. So now we're going to go down here and say this dot over equals is mouse inside this. And then we're going to say mouse inside, which is the variable we defined right up here, mouse inside, equals this dot over question mark true or mouse inside. And now the button should be all set up, so now we'll make some. Now we're going to say var home button equals new button. The x will be 200 and 200. The width will be 100 and the height will be 50. The text size will be about, let's see, 15. And the text will be game. And then the next scene will be game. So now if we go down to home and write hb.draw, there it is. But we still have a problem because it doesn't do anything and the cursor doesn't change. So I think that the text size is a little small, so we're going to increase it a bit. There we go. And then now we're going to go down to the draw function and write cursor mouse inside question mark, and then we're going to write hand and arrow, and then we'll write mouse inside equals false. Now if we put it in, then there it is, the cursor changes to a hand when we hover over the button. If we didn't have mouse inside equals false, look what would happen. The cursor is stuck to a hand. So we'll just put that back in, and there we go. Now this button needs to do something. So what we're going to do is define a new variable called BS, which stands for buttons, plural. And then we'll make an array out of it and put HB in it. Now if we scroll down to mouse clicked function, we can write for var I in BS. And then we can write if BS I dot inside, or actually dot over, then transition dot end scene equals BS I dot end scene. So that'll make it so that the transition knows what the next scene will be, which is defined by the button. And then we'll write down here that end transition dot tallow equals true. So we can run the thing. Now if we go into the draw function now, we'll write end transition dot transfer. we go. Now if we click the button, it freezes. Why does it freeze? It's because I messed up something up here. So I should say this.sallow question mark 0 or 225. Now if we restart it, it should work. And yep, there we go. We have a transition set up. So now I'll quick just add a home button. Also check the game button. And we'll just add a home button up here. We'll set that to 200, 200, 150, 24, home, and home. Now, we'll go down here, and in the game function we'll write hb.draw. Now we should be able to see a home button in the game function, and sure enough, there it is. But there's another problem, it doesn't go back. Well, it's because we have to specify in the transition that the buttons aren't inside. So we will write that right here. We'll say for var I in BS. We'll say BS I dot inside equals false. Now everything should work properly. But it doesn't work properly. Well, guess what? It's because I said inside instead of over. So let's fix that. And now everything should be working properly. And now this button isn't able to be clicked on. So our problem was that we didn't add the home button to the BS variable, the BS array. So we'll just add that, because if it isn't in the BS variable, then the mouse click function can't find it, because it depends on BS to have all the buttons stored inside it, and we didn't have that. So now if we click on it, it works. It goes back to the home menu. So I hope you found this episode helpful, and day 2 will be coming soon. Day 2 will have menu design. We will design the home screen with titles and background and all that cool stuff. So see you later.